Says, good morning, M Team. You guys will be heading up to Abingdon, Virginia. We have, believe we have found the epicenter of the whistle.
And lists me in the database, in the hospital's database records as like a specialist or whatnot on the topic.
She takes your hand. She's Mechelle Taylor. I'm sorry for the noise. Just hear the sound of like screaming. There was a strange, there was a whistling sound.
Like to try and find an alternate version of myself that's really good at this doctor stuff.
Return to the source. And then she just whistles. We need your help. Hello everyone, welcome back to Open Table Adventures. As always, I am Dan the Baker, and we are here today with episode 2 of Triangle Agency Appalachian Division. And I'm here with my fantastic field agents. Why don't you guys introduce yourselves, starting with VJ?
Hi everybody, my name is VJ Harris. My pronouns are they, them, he, him, and something funny. You can find me everywhere at VJH Creations or VJH_Creations. And assuming something wacky happens with TikTok, you can likely still find me there at VJH Creation if you can still access it. So we'll see. And I am playing Mick Johnson, who uses he, him pronouns.
Are we going this way?
Yeah, to you next. To you next.
Hello, my name is Darby, otherwise known as Chaotic Darby on the internet. I do stuff and things, and today I will be playing Maude Tulane, who uses she, they pronouns.
Right, I am Storm. Mostly you can find me on TikTok. For now, you can find me other places if you look, for the most part. I do cosplay stuff for the most part. She, they, and I will be playing Margot Luman. She, her pronouns.
Meadow, take us home.
And howdy, I'm Meadow, she, they pronouns. You can find me everywhere on the internet that matters at Howdy Love Darlin or Howdy Love Darlin GM. And I will be playing Mags Baneberry of she, her pronouns.
Love that. Yeah, I think we can get right into it. As you all, at least Mick, Maude, and Margot, you have left the room of Saraya Taylor, who has gone, I think at this point has kind of gone mute, has not answered any of your questions, hasn't whistled or screamed or said return to the source anymore. So you kind of found it to be a little bit useless for you guys to stay in there. You step out, you see Mechelle appears to have stepped out onto the porch once more. Do you all step out to join her? Do you look around the house a little bit more before you do? What did the three of you do?
I don't know, just looking around, is there anything that seems like off, or any like better ideas of like what was going on with her beyond just probably something out in the woods? Margot will probably do like a quick scan at least of the house as they're leaving, trying to find anything anomalous.
Yeah. I think you like look at like on the walls, you see like family pictures, you see Mechelle, Saraya, and a gentleman who you assume is Saraya's dad. You see pictures from Saraya like when she was younger, like on like a soccer team. You see there's like a case with some like trophies from like sports and like academic achievements. All in all, she seems like a very well-rounded, very well-grounded young woman who has like appears to have like a bright future.
Okay.
And there's a cat.
That's mine. She's screaming in the background.
It's an anomaly.
That's Fractal. Yeah, he meows.
Fractal makes whatever noise it wants.
Yeah.
Meows are bear noises.
Yeah.
Bear noise.
It's just a meow.
I feel like occasional chittering too.
Yeah. Yeah, you head out onto the porch, and you see Maude has kind of stepped out as she approaches a car that is pulling up to the driveway that you all recognize as one of the Triangle Agency kind of company cars. And stepping out, who do we see, Meadow?
First, you see boots on the ground. Clean, pristine, black boots. And as you kind of like slowly pan up, you see like dirty denim stuffed into those boots, and then flannel stuffed into that denim, and then stuffed into all of that is Mags, this muscular, very tall woman, deep brown skin, even deeper brown eyes, and a bunch of braids that are pulled back in a tight ponytail, and a set of leather driving gloves, black like her boots. As she gets out, you see a toothpick hanging out in the corner of her mouth as she scans those of you outside, kind of making a mental note, and then closes the door behind her as she walks up.
You see Mechelle, this 45-ish black woman with her braids tied back, approaches and says, "Hi, can I help you? Are you with the doctor's team?"
She's with us.
I think at this point, Mechelle then realizes that you guys have walked out, and she approaches you, Mick, and goes, but did you figure anything out? Do you know what's going on?
First, now I know this might sound a little extreme, but if possible, you might want to talk to your primary care physician or the doctor who checked her out in the first place about if she starts screaming again, to potentially sedate her. That kind of continuous screaming can cause serious damage to the throat, the voice, and we kind of want to not have that happen. I will say with aneurysms, such as the minor ones that with minor aneurysms, there is a chance of them healing themselves on their own. So it's a bit of a waiting game. I'm just keeping a very close eye on her until then. We are going to go check out further into the woods to see potentially. Dan, sorry, out of character. I'm assuming there was blood work done in the little thing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, it says, we have your daughter's blood work. We're gonna go check out in the woods, see if there's anything out there that could be the cause of what's going on with her. Like I mentioned before, certain aneurysms can have environmental factors. So we'll go take a look out there as well to see if anything can be learned out there that can help here as well.
Okay. I'm sorry. I'm just so mighty grateful for that you came all the way out here. It's, like my husband's out on the road. Like I said, it's can be tough being out here alone with her like this. But I think I'm gonna go and I'm gonna give him a call and just kind of let him know what's going on, if that's okay. You feel free if you need to look around the property at all. You have free reign. There's a trail out back that leads goes right into the Appalachian Trail. Saraya has been traveling and hiking around that, making her own trails for years. So feel free to check any of that out. I think there's, you might run into, there's some park rangers that patrol around there as well. You might run into, just, if they ask any questions, let them just, tell them you came from Mechelle's. They'll probably let up on you.
Does she look like she's like open to like if Mick was like kind of reach out, just like give like a reassuring like touch on the shoulder or anything, and or does she look like she'd be open to that?
Yeah, I think you seem to think that would be appropriate for you to do.
Okay, great. So he just reaches out like just a very reassuring, firm, like we're gonna do everything we can for her. I promise.
She like puts her hand on your hand and says, "Thank you, doctor. I do genuinely really appreciate that." And she kind of nods to each of you individually. I think she looks at Mags and kind of like looks you up and down a little bit, and it's like, "Okay, sure." And walks back into the house to make her phone call. And then the four of you are now left alone on the front lawn.
I think Mags walks up to everyone now that the civilian is away, and looks at everyone and goes, "May I trouble you for a debrief?"
Sure. I'll just fill her in really quickly on what's been going on.
Yeah.
So, didn't get a lot of information out of the daughter, but definitely seems like something's out there.
So we're going into the woods.
Mm-hmm. Margot looks very excited about this prospect.
Maude does not look very excited about this.
Mick looks indifferent.
Okay, a whole spectrum.
Yeah, exactly.
In a row.
Mm-hmm.
Something whistled back to her when she whistled in there. Whistled back. It was like it points in a direction, like that direction.
Yep.
I also you could vaguely tell it was coming from like the north. Vaguely, I'll say.
Northish.
Mm-hmm.
Well, when they send me in after you, it's to clean up behind you. So, might as well start making a mess after you.
Oh.
Is that an invitation to make a mess, or?
It is.
Excellent.
Darts.
Oh gosh. So you guys go head out onto the trail.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Has everyone above table already done like a perimeter sweep?
No, the guys went right inside.
Okay, I hold up my hand and I go, the whistle came from there, and I whistled back.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that means it's in listening distance, which may mean that it's circled or marked the house in some way. One moment. And she's going to go around kind of like a bloodhound, looking for maybe scratch markings or anything displaced that looks ritualistic or anything that would signify an anomaly of some sort.
Okay. I think I think you're going to ask the agency.
Okay.
Our first ask the agency roll. Here's someone explaining that.
Hi, I'm Dr. Redak, Ted Justin, Case. I am part of the R&DD Labs, that is, Research and Development of Development. And today I'll be guiding you through the Triangle Agency. Come on! One of the greatest tools in the hands of the agency, other than the perseverance and hard work of our agents, is the ability to subtly alter the recent past. An agent can submit a reality alteration request so that they can enter any situation with the confidence that serendipity will be on their side. Simply, an agent can ask the agency to ensure that something happens, even the most implausible. There are 4 factors in affecting a desired response from the agency. 1. State the effect you want to occur. For number 2, we'll need a causality change that describes the series of events that lead up to the effect occurring. 3. List the relevant quality that you will be embodying. And lastly, a successful roll of at least 1 3. This, of course, is a very powerful ability and should be used sparingly by our agents. So before you ask the agency, ask yourself, is it worth the destabilization of reality?
That's yeah. So what So what effect do you want to occur?
And please tell me if this is reasonable, because I didn't know I was supposed to ask first. But what
No,
I
totally.
think is reasonable is that it rained here in the last couple days. And so there are like impressions deep in the mud of tracks we can follow.
Okay, yeah. I think, saying it rained in Virginia is feasible enough. Very a mundane thing. And then that, whatever it is that you are following has feet. I'll say,
or even drag marks, or maybe a particular scent. Like, it leaves behind something that then we can follow directly.
Okay, cool. So roll your 6d4.
Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay. 1, 2 successes.
Ooh, 2 3s. Let me mark down how much chaos that gave me. Hold on.
Okay.
Disregard. So I think I think Max like sniffs the air and you kind of smell the humidity in the air. You're like, oh, it rained recently. And then you look around and you find near the back of the house a kind of muddy section, and you don't find like footprints, I don't think, but you find like a impression of like as if something landed and then was like slightly like dragged away. And I think you then realize that this was like under a window. And the others, I think when they come around, are able to tell you that it was under Saraya's window.
Okay. I would like to. I don't know who has a camera, but I go Exhibit A.
I feel like Maude, you probably have a little digital camera, yeah.
And then I follow the drag marks with my finger, and I go Exhibit.
And it leads right into the trail that leads off the property for sure.
And this is why you come with us.
Mags closes her eyes for a moment and is like,
C.
this is going to be so much to clean up. And she just like gestures for y'all to lead the way. She's going to be in the caboose so she can like keep an eye on everyone and listen out for anything running up behind them.
I'll pull out compass and I'm guessing since it's butting up right against like a park that there's some kind of map. So I grabbed a topographical map that I printed out before we left. And I just start leading the way.
Yeah. I think, before Max even indicated for you guys to start moving, I feel like Margot was like ready to go.
Taking shit out of my bag.
And like as you're walking, anyone who's like behind you looking just sees behind, like kind of moving amongst the trees in different spots. You see just like a shape moving. That Margot, is there, you realize is there, and that is your constant companion Fractal. But everyone else does find it slightly disconcerting. He's supposed to be there, it's fine. Or they're supposed to be there.
Margot does not pay attention to the shifting in the trees. That is very specific. Makes it very easy for field work to find spooky things when there's already a spooky thing with us.
Yes. So you guys, you walk a little bit down the trail. You see it like intersects into like a larger trail that is a bit more well traveled. I think you're continuing in that general direction of the north of where you heard the whistle and like where that dragging was coming from. And I think since you have the agency for it, Max, you do see kind of along like the muddy bits of the trail, further like of those little divots and drags. Like it appears like you're able to follow a little bit of a trail with this. I think at some point, a young Middle Eastern man in a park ranger uniform approaches you all, not in like any like bad like you guys are suspicious, but in like a park ranger way of like, how are you guys enjoying the trail
immediately
today?
Suspicious.
How are you guys enjoying the trail today? Well, I hope it's a little bit muddy, so we did close off this trail over here just so you guys know. His eyes kind of track the group. He lands on Margot, and there's like a recognition in his eyes as he looks at Margot. And Margot, you look at this man and you do recognize him as someone that you have once worked with.
It's been a while. Did I know you? And Margot, I work at the Blackwater Falls perk.
Ahad. You I think when he says his name, you kind of recognize he basically he did like a summer internship at the Blackwater Falls while you were working there. This was a couple years ago. But he's like, helped train me, I guess. It's wow, crazy running into you here of all places.
Small world, yeah.
Tiny.
Always. I've never been out at this park before. Have you noticed anything like that we should be looking out for? Besides, of course, like mud and rain and things that noticed anything specific that has been going on? Weird, fun stories, that kind of thing.
I like anything specific. You're, what, like weird how?
I mean, you know how parks are. Sometimes it's just like weird stories, and sometimes it's like it's Appalachia. Some things get stranger. I was actually gonna use one of my abilities.
Totally, yeah.
Called Remember When.
Yeah.
So make someone feel an overwhelming rush of nostalgia for a time they let slip away. So kind of feeding a little bit into that time we worked together, and trying to lead him to telling, feeding me stories of if anything interesting has been going on that he's noticed.
Yeah. So you hum a tune and roll empathy.
I specifically hum it. I don't whistle it.
Yes, no whistling.
And for like the quality assurances with like the empathy and whatnot, are we supposed to have points there that I've forgotten to do ahead of time, or
you should have some. It wouldn't be in all of them. You should have 3 of them should have some points in them.
Okay, I definitely messed that up.
That's fine. If we want to say you have 3 in empathy, that's fine.
I feel like that makes sense.
Yeah, well, I'll allow that. Cut that out.
Okay. I'll work on it while we're doing other things.
Dark noise.
Okay, 3 4s. Are any of you 3s? I got 1 3.
1 3. Okay, that works. Get some chaos. Hold on.
No, you don't. You don't get any chaos.
Put that chaos back.
Don't worry. I don't have as much as I had a little bit ago.
Okay. So I'm just gonna ignore that.
So on a success, all past events, even recent ones, feel wistfully far away. The target is desperate to talk about their past and easily led toward subjects you're interested in, even typically secret or classified ones.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm assuming you're leading him, towards recent strange events. I'm assuming. Are you trying to lead him specifically to whistling related events?
Yeah. So she'll kind of go on pulling on like a story from like their past at Blackwater Falls of something weird, spooky happens at night, and we're like, we never really found out what was going on there, and that is perfect campfire stories. And I mean, I'm always looking for something else. So like, if there's anything, plausible but not so plausible, that would be a fun tale.
I mean, it's kind of a little hush hush at this point. We're still kind of investigating it. I'm not investigating it. The people above me are investigating it. The people, there's been some disappearances.
Yeah.
Yeah, around a little bit north of here. Some people, they. It's weird. It's like people were, hiking. They came home and were experiencing, or like were having weird effects, weird symptoms of something, and then disappeared. And like, we found traces of them at a spot a little bit to the north of here, but then nothing further.
Anything around it, like just the disappearances? Nothing.
All that's around there is a source of water, a little spring.
Nice. Well, yeah, thanks for telling us. Don't want to get disappeared.
Yeah. No, totally. Yeah. It's I guess it's tempting for some people just to return to the source, I guess.
Does he seem off when he's saying that?
Yes.
Yeah.
There's like, you see his eyes are like a little glassy as he says this.
Okay.
Is the path that he's like guarding but not guarding? Is that where the drag marks continue up?
I think you look a little bit past him towards like the path that he has blocked off, and you see the trail continues down that way.
Yeah. Okay. Mags is not the talker, so Mags isn't gonna say anything, but she's going to try very, very hard to catch someone else's eye in this group, to let them know that she's about to do the thing that she was brought here to do if we don't get further info. So whoever's eye she catches, I don't know who it is, but someone should know. Okay, Mick, absolutely. I look at you and I gently take the toothpick out of my mouth and back in, and I raise an eyebrow.
Right. So I think upon seeing that, Mick is gonna kind of step in and have you ever been interviewed? It's not every day I get to talk to it's not every day I get to talk to somebody who works here, and I mean, I'm sure you have a lot of interests, things that people would be deeply interested in hearing about. I have a number of contacts with a variety of magazines and newspapers and whatnot, and I'd love to just not only hear more about your what you like here, but also just the general things you enjoy, and if that ties back to your job. And I would like to try actually wait, let's see. Okay, I don't know if would you like some more technically works here. Trigger, do you desire as a bucket, poke a hole in it by saying, would you like some more? Because that's the person you're speaking to becomes very interested in more of the last thing they enjoyed.
That good, yeah. If you're like trying to distract him or like
I'm trying to do like a distraction here just to hear more about that, honestly.
Yeah. You have to say, would you like some more, and then roll empathy.
Yeah. So I think I'd love to hear about that. And also if the thing that like you truly love, if you like some more of it, doesn't work it in very well to the conversation, but it's still going to say it. Okay. 1-3.
Love that. Love that for me. So yeah, you on a success, the person you're speaking to becomes very interested in more of the last thing they enjoyed, as identified by you and the player. Player of the character, which is me. This does not create an addiction or compulsion, but makes that thing, if it is available, into leverage or distraction far beyond its worth. So it's like you're basically like what is it that you are like trying to leverage?
So one, I want him to tell me what, so I know technically I'm like the two of us decide what it is, but I'm trying to use it more in like he starts talking about it. And I'm just sitting here, like I take out like a fucking notebook that I have as the PR person, like just pull it out of my jacket or something. And I just start, oh yeah. You know, I actually really like that too. And like, whatever he like, kind of like, do you know what he's going to say is the thing he like last enjoyed?
I think that will depend on if you are trying to affect Ahad or if you're trying to affect what is pulling his strings.
Ahad.
Okay.
That cheeky little smile. Just like
nasty behavior, Dan. You go sit in timeout.
I am the timeout. I am the boom boom guy. It's I think I think what I think the last thing, because you're talking about him being like interviewed and like the last thing he enjoyed, I think he's like, you see his eyes were glassy when he was talking about the source, and then he kind of comes out of that for a second. He says, oh yeah, I got interviewed by the local television station a couple weeks ago, actually, on hiking and trail safety, which is like something I'm super passionate about, and I think more people should really look into. It's, you know, knowing what you should have in your go bag, what you should safely pack with you, knowing your own limits. He goes on for like a full minute about just like hiker safety.
Margot is locked in.
Yeah, Margot's taking notes. Yeah.
I'm just like very proud. I'm like, I trained this guy. This is great.
I think as he sang that, Mick kind of, oh no, that's very important. Of course. You know, I have some contacts at other, because as a senior PR person, he's like, okay, I gotta have contacts at a lot of places. You know, some bigger news stations that talk about like hiking and whatnot. You know, it's very important to various areas. So maybe we could talk about trying to get them to bring you on some of the National Geographics, perhaps, about like hiking safety. We could really like talk about it some more, and it's just really like trying to like turn the guy away and just like taking notes and listening, and then just kind of like cranes his neck towards the others and like go kind of fashion.
He like goes like, it's like, let me get my card. I have it. I put my bag over here. Let me grab it. And he like starts like rifling through his bag as you are like leading him away from the trailhead. And the rest of you can sneak on by if desired.
Yeah.
Great.
I do.
Yeah. I do desire, in fact.
I scuttle right behind Mags.
Yeah.
Taking pictures.
Cool. Then as you are Mick, as you're like talking with him, he like continues like gushing. You see he kind of looks up and his eyes glaze over just a little bit once more, and then he you just hear like a little like gurgling in his throat as he then collapses dead.
My boy.
Dead?
You can check, but dead. You're very familiar with dead.
I am very familiar with dead.
I wouldn't be out of line of sight. I would not have left the line of sight.
No, I think you're close enough that you know. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think knowing that about you, Mick's just like, Mags,
Max is
Maude.
already there.
Margot.
What? I just left.
Mags pulls out a shovel and begins digging.
Wait, maybe Maude should get some samples of whatever in case there's anything going on with
Yeah. That seems
that. Maybe.
Yeah.
It takes a while to dig a hole. You got your time. Go ahead and
you're
grab
right.
your samples or
You know
loot
what
his
you're
pockets
saying.
or whatever
So
you're
right.
doing.
And also, I kind of as this is happening, Mick, you see this dead body in front of you. It would be so easy. It would be just so easy, wouldn't it?
Oh my god.
He's not like he's literally turned away. And if we've all been together where there were dead bodies before, the three of you know that as soon as there's some like a dead person, he just turns away and tries to walk off.
Go grab some air. It's not for the squeamish.
A box is marked for you, Mick. We'll talk about that later.
People, this is wretched.
This is a good game.
Wretched behavior.
This is a good game.
Oh my god!
I'm gonna take some samples. I got a little baggie. I got little Q-tips. I got little the tubes and stuff.
Max, you like have a shovel with you at all times, I believe. And dig a shallow grave. Maude, you collect samples. Margot, do you do anything in this situation?
Fuck. I definitely would have like checked pulse before.
Yeah.
Just as a thorough bit to it.
No, definitely dead. Fully dead.
Yeah, I figured, but due diligence and whatnot. Fuck. I don't know if there's anything I can do at the moment.
You don't have to do anything. You can
Yeah.
I think it takes. I feel like it doesn't take Max that long. You're trained enough, and strong enough that it doesn't take you too long. And plus, the ground is soft at the moment because of the rain, so you're able to. I want to know: do you also bury his stuff with him, or are you going to take his bag?
I will take his bag, but not so I can keep it. I need to look through to see if there's anything that can help us if we get lost out here, or So I'm gonna look through the bag and keep it on. But I'm gonna leave him with his identification so that if he is discovered, his family can have some closure.
Well, that's nice
Isn't
of
it
you.
weird that we buried his body instead of
Nope.
he might have had an heart attack
Nope.
out in the woods.
Mags can only do two things: dig graves and kill people.
Yeah. Eat hot chips.
Anything in the bag?
I think cursory look is there is a lot of there's a large first aid kit, compass, things organized. You see there's there's also a journal that I feel like Margot, it is common for park rangers to go keep journals, especially when they're out in the field for a long time.
Yeah.
That helps you stay sane a little bit.
Now me above table, I love a journal moment. Mags could not care less. So she's gonna take it out and she's flicking it by its spine to see if anything falls out of it. And then when nothing falls out, goes useless.
I think a single condom falls out. Just a single condom.
Oh my god!
In the package, not used.
I have a horrible story to tell after the recording.
Oh my god! Someone put a reminder in the chat.
Catch the journal.
Mom can take the journal. Yeah.
Ooh, research.
Do you quickly? Do you scan through it?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think the person mod you would go to like the most recent whatever it's called, most recent entry. Yes. And you kind of like you see the last several pages. Like there's like the journal is actually full. And the last like 20 pages are just return to the source written over and over and over again on like 20 to 25 pages. And I think you like you go through that. And it's all like various sizes and various like levels of legibility. But you get to the last like coherent entry. And it's mostly it's like kind of like this seems to be like a like end of day him just recounting almost like bullet points. Here's what I did today, here's what I found. And like you see like there's a he talks about mostly like here's some like wildlife I encountered, here's like some this trail, like I saw some poison oak growing. He talks about the there was like very recent missing people that like people who went missing. He then there's a bullet point that mentions young girl experiencing symptoms of missing people. And you checking the date, this is the same day that Saraya would have been like returned to her mom's. And like the last like bullet is kind of unfinished. As you see like it's almost like a reminder of like I have to like he's like talking about like something like a place that he wants to go back to. He's like, oh yeah, I have to return, and then the handwriting changes and says to the source, and then that was where it continues to the source. Yeah.
Is there so documenting like I saw this wildlife, I saw this blah blah blah. Are there any like things that can help like pinpoint like where along the trail we might find these like any flora fauna that might be like a particular identifier that he might have like a hog might have marked, like I was at like 30 kilometers past this trailhead or blah blah blah.
I think he mentions at least what trailhead he was on or what trail he was on, and like probably like mentions the like directions he was like not he does. I don't think he went like full latitude and longitude.
Yeah.
But like it was more like it was vague notes, but I think it was enough that you could identify like especially
to
figure out based on maps and things.
Yeah, I think you also like I think realize like probably the thing that will help you identify where he was is the poisonous plant. Like being able to find that, because like they're like in this area aren't as common. So like being able to find that, I think you'll be able to find where he was if that's what you want to.
Is it possible? I mean, after I bury a man and steal his backpack,
Of course.
is it possible that I could look at Margot?
It's a normal Tuesday.
It's Mags's normal Tuesday.
Yeah.
Look at Margot and go. Now he was talking about water. On that map with full of squiggles, is there a water source north of here following this trailhead where their drag marks are leading?
Yeah, I'll look for the spring that he was talking about.
I think with your like expertise in your training, like know how to read these maps as easy as if you were reading a children's book, and you're able to like quickly like finding where you guys are is easy because you're like right at the start of the trailhead. And you kind of trace along, and you find probably about a mile north of you guys is like a spring that turns into that like leads into like a small brook.
Okay.
Babbling, one might say.
Yeah, no, it shouldn't be that hard to find the spring from here. Seems like a pretty straight shot, not too far, only a mile.
I guess we should go,
Shall we?
right? I mean, there's not a container that's big enough for me to fit into, right? Right?
There's a grave, but I don't know.
There is a grave.
It's a grave, a container is, I don't know, is cereal, is soup. Like, we can get into this, but I don't know if this is,
Either
No and
way,
yes,
it's full
in that
right
order.
now.
I mean, you know what else?
Maude.
You know what also helps you narrow down the source of the whistling is getting a goofy person who might only exist for an hour to whistle a bunch, right?
You still have one, there's still one in the closet. It hasn't been an hour yet.
Oh my god.
She's just sitting there. She's just waiting.
Is she, how close are we to the house still?
I think probably by the time you get there, she will have disappeared.
Damn.
Yeah.
Darn. But it would have been really hard to explain why there's suddenly two of me walking out of the house.
Suddenly, Maude is standing beside Maude.
I'm playing in a
Coming to
modded
Broadway.
server.
Terrible.
Yeah, I think at this point, Mick, you've also you've done a little bit of you walked a little bit back, a little bit away, and then maybe Mags gave you a little I was about to say a little whistle, but no, you don't do that. A little click that it's safe to come back. So yeah, you've all I think reconvened probably right here at the trailhead. What do you want to do?
So poisonous plants are kind of the last thing in here, and you're talking about water. We go? We fight?
I mean, that's what we were brought here for.
I'll watch your back.
I'll lead the way.
I will be in between you both.
All right.
Mick, you can breathe now. It's all right.
Mick just opens up his
Thermos. Yeah. So yeah, you guys start heading up the trail. I think Maude, I think you're probably taking some time to try to survey the plants along the trail, trying to find it's specific poisonous plants. I think Margot, you're trying to follow the map, trying to follow the trail towards this water source. And yeah, I think it doesn't take you too long. It is about a mile, probably a little under a mile. So at a decent pace, won't take you too long. I would say, are you guys just are you traveling in silence? Are you trying to talk? Or are you what's the vibes?
Depends on the vibes of everyone else, but I feel like Margot's the person to just randomly spat out thoughts that she's having, regardless of the relevancy, just to kind of fill the void of lack of conversation if no one's saying anything. So just random bird facts about things in the woods, and oh yeah, those are footprints from raccoons or something like that. Not relevant to anything that we're doing, but is if there's too much silence, she may go insane.
That's so valid.
Mags is keeping an eye on Mick.
Mick is chugging down his drink.
Love that. So yeah, you guys continue along, and you find eventually you get to a spot where you can start to hear the sound of water trickling, water bubbling a little bit, and you get to a clearing, probably 20 feet across, that has a little bit of a rock formation, and in the center has a just a spring water coming through the rocks that then leads off into a like brook that kind of goes down the mountain a little bit. And I think Mags, you look around and you can see many of these divots kind of just punched into the ground all around.
I point to them and go, Exhibit C.
Actually, you were already Exhibit C, so this is...
I'm not an exhibit. I tell you this every time we go out somewhere. I do not count.
I think you count.
You're not usually wrong, Maude, but you're wrong about this one.
I only heard the first part of that, so I'm not usually wrong.
I want to check out these divots and see if there's anything that I could identify about them that would be helpful to the rest of the team.
I think you see here that it appears to be like they aren't in like a pattern or anything. They appear to be random. And there are some places where like it, they are like overlapping. It seems like as you're looking at it here, it seems like there's something landing and then lifting off and then landing and then lifting off.
Huh. So if that's the case, then it's very possible that because it's not here right now, it has lifted off somewhere and is off terrorizing someone else.
Possible.
I look at everyone and go, it looks like this is its home base. Should we set up here? Do you see any of those magic poison flowers or whatever it was you was looking for?
I don't know if there were magic poison flowers or just normal poison flowers. But pawing through the book, the journal, and observing the plant life.
Yeah, I can say he like did like a little sketch of it in the journal also. So like at least of like the leaf formation, and I think you're able to identify that in this area for sure.
Yes. This one. It's here. It's there. Margot, you know plants. I'm me stupid.
There's a lot of them.
A fair bit, yeah.
Interesting. Well, Mags is a gun, so Mags is gonna say nothing and nod to Maude, and then kind of like start putting her head on a swivel and just watching out for its return while the people with brains and good thoughts figure out what to do next. She's just going to keep a lookout.
Yeah, I'll start kind of investigating the area. So looking around the spring, seeing if there's anything like in the water, around like the rocks, anything like in like carved in or anything coming at us from the sky.
Mm-hmm. I think you're looking around, and I think you look in the water, like you're looking at the spring. The spring itself is probably like 5 foot in diameter, but you see like kind of where the water is coming from. You look and see like down at the source. There you can see something that you think shouldn't be there, but you'd have to get a closer look to be certain what it is.
I'll look to everyone else. Like it's in the water, you said?
Yeah.
Okay. Awful. I'm gonna look to everyone else and just there's something in the water.
What does it look like?
I need to get closer, so if anything goes weird, I figured you guys should know before. Should I like tie a rope around myself in case I get dragged in the water or something?
Nope, that'll drag us down with you.
I was gonna tie
it to a tree.
Yeah, I was gonna try it myself.
It'll
and then a tree.
rip you in half.
Not if I tie it right.
Yeah, harness style.
Yeah.
It'll rip you in fifths.
We don't know how strong this thing is.
Exactly.
I mean, why don't we toss a rocket or something? I mean,
I might disturb it more.
Are you sure you want to be the one to scout this? I'm more equipped to eliminate our problems if they need to be eliminated. If it's something to study, I'll come right back up and get you, and you can go down with your goggles and your notes and your fancy words and your squiggly maps and figure it out from there.
Well, if you're up here and something comes out because I disturbed it, then it might be more efficient to or whatever from shore.
It's up to you, Margot. I can bury your body if it's wet or dry.
Fair enough. She's unbothered.
That's a hardcore fucking phrase. Jesus.
That's a great
It's another Tuesday.
You know what? Yeah, I'll tie rope kind of around myself, tie it to a tree, and then kind of make almost like a pulley system, so like a loop, so I can kind of scooch it down if needed to get closer, but it should stay on that slip if something tries to like pull me in.
I'd like to hold on to the rope if that's okay, like above table.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so if like you give a tug or something, I can try and get you out just in case it goes wrong.
Yeah. Cool. All right. I'll start getting closer to the water. I'll look in. I'll learn my lesson with playing SCP type nonsense.
Yeah. You get in, and yeah, you it's not deep. You can feel the like ground is very like weird. It's like more of like a clay or like silt texture. Like it's not like dirt or like rocky. Like it's a weird texture. Very like soft. And also what you notice is very warm. It's not hot. This isn't a hot spring, but it's like warm. And you get down and you look down where like the water is coming out from, like kind of the main part where it's coming out from. And you look down and you see an eyeball. Just a normal sized, human-sized eyeball peeking out from under the sand and the silt. Just looking up at you.
Does it seem attached to anything?
Yeah, it's like in a face.
Okay. Is there a second eyeball? Or
Not that
more?
You can. It's like almost like you can see like you can see this much of their face. Yeah.
Is it moving?
It is. But you can see it's moving with the bubbling of the water. I think within a moment's glance, you can tell that this is the eye of a dead person.
Oh. I do not recognize any bodies in the water, and I pull myself out.
Yes.
This is the second time that I've had this happen to a character.
Oh no. Mick, what are you doing as this is happening?
Mick? So Mick has just finished the last of this and is just kind of licking the rim. Wipes his mouth. Wipes his mouth immediately. Goes. It thinks about like is about to go over to like also grab the rope to help. Like, not that Mags actually needs the help. It's more about having something to do with his hands. But then it like starts to tug, and Margot starts to get pulled. Is like being pulled out. So he is just standing there, watching what's happening.
Yeah.
And Margot's like, definitely your jurisdiction. There is a dead body in that water. Yeah, like underneath the silt. like at least half of the face. I don't know if there's more, but
I think Mick, you're looking around, you're watching as this is happening. You're looking, you see kind of this rock formation, it's kind of above the Babylon Brook, and you look, and you're kind of looking at it, and there's something about it that catches your eye about, not about like the type of rocks or like the plants that are growing in it, but about the shape of it. So it's kind of in a concave, almost like bowl-like shape. And you're looking at it, and you see that you kind of get this thought in your head. You don't know where it's coming from. But you get a thought in the head that this isn't just a rock formation. This is a nest. This is a very large nest. And then you hear a whistling sound as something is descending from the sky. As you duck and cover. As a large bird-like creature descends from the sky with a whistle, and just kind of plops its large round body into this nest, and like pecks at itself, and then it appears to it goes over to at the top of the rock formation and drops something into the water source that then gets sucked into the into the silt and goes down.
Okay, sucked as in the silt's alive, kind of, or sucked as in how you would expect silk.
How you would expect it, almost like quicksand.
Okay, cool.
And then it notices all of you, and it squawks loudly, and appears to be about to take off, and attack. What do you do?
Well, first, as it's whistling, he's like, Mags! And just kind of points up at this thing.
Good.
I think Mags quite literally uses the rope that she was holding on to pull Margot, to help Margot get out of the water, to swing her body over and land in front of everyone. Kind of moving Margot to the side, but just trying to get everyone behind her so that they have a chance to hide or run, whichever one they'd like to do. She doesn't know if they need to get this thing alive or not, so she's gonna do the thing that she does, and she stands like an actual cowboy, hands right above her belt, chewing on her toothpick, waiting for the bird to come first. Just quick draw, baby, quick draw.
Mm-hmm.
So she's waiting.
Yeah. You see, the bird is this is a large, fat bird, with a protruding stomach, in a very familiar shape to you, Mags. See shape of the divots with it's small wings that it seems more it can propel itself up, but cannot really fly very far.
Okay. Bumblebees should do.
Yes. Its head is almost chicken-like, with the little, what is that called? The thingies on the top. The little hat.
Dongs?
The little chicken hat.
The waddle. No, the
waddle.
waddle.
Or the waddles, yeah.
It's
Well, you see,
comb.
it doesn't have waddles at the bottom. It has
got a
comb, yeah. You should know. You're the animal person.
I don't work with birds anymore.
Not since the accident.
We're just winging it, you know?
Not to I'm sorry. Too soon. But you see, it doesn't have the waddle underneath.
Yeah.
It does have a set of tentacles, kind of hanging from its chin. And it turns its head to you, and squawks loudly, as it kind of flaps its wings and bounds up, and in its intended target is to land on or near you, Max.
Yeah. okay, great. What I'm gonna do in response is I'm gonna like watch it go up in the air, and I'm going to make sure I'm positioned directly under it. And I'm gonna do a quick draw. I'm gonna be like, well, that kind of looks like a balloon. Let's pop it. And she kind of like squints her eye, looks up there to get her aim right, and then spits her toothpick, which is her gun, shooting it straight through. Hopefully, I'm gonna try with my little quick draw
roll
ability.
initiative,
Yes, indeed.
but not
Not
roll
the
initiative.
normal
You know what we mean. We're not playing that game. We're playing this game.
Hey, y'all. Okay. Okay. So that is 2 3s.
Okay. So yeah, you shoot first. The aggressor takes 1 harm before their attack, and they do not see it hurting you. For each additional 3, you may choose an additional target or eliminate a target you've already harmed. So you could just eliminate him.
Yeah. No one's gonna tell me not to. Yeah, I want to make sure that my aim is perfectly true, and I want it to travel straight through so that its insides remain as clean as possible, so that when Maude gets her hands on it, there are going to be lots of things to still study and understand about it. So yeah, I eliminate it.
I will say, if you eliminate it, the target disappears without a trace.
Oh yeah, I like erase it from existence.
I'll give you this choice. You either it will disappear without a trace, or you only deal 1 harm, which will not kill it, and it will damage you, and like you're a human person, a giant bird landing on you would like incapacitate you.
Yeah, then I guess it has to die. So with a whistle, like literally with a whistle, I whistle up and shoot the toothpick in the same pitch that it whistled coming down, as kind of like canceling it out. And I want to erase it from our timeline.
I think, it's almost like you punch a hole through it with your toothpick, and like it almost like folds in on itself, like almost like a dying star before poofing out of existence.
I look up, and then I wait. I'm just kind of like standing looking, and then I catch my toothpick in my mouth, and I turn and look at everybody, and I'm like, so what do we do here? Head back to the office, or you guys want to grab some dinner?
What the fuck was that?
Return to the source.
What? Where's that coming from?
Sorry. Only Max is hearing this.
Oh.
Okay.
I'm hearing it.
Rewind.
You whistled.
Return to the source.
Oh.
Y'all hear that?
What?
Hear what?
Hear what?
Hearing something say return to the source.
That's not good.
God's above and below
but
us.
we know a couple people who have, and it hasn't turned out great for them.
You think Saraya's dead? Sorry, that shouldn't have come out of my mouth.
Nah.
Max, your feet start moving.
Doesn't bother me none.
As you start,
I'm sure they do.
Moving, you start moving towards the babbling brook,
Where you
source,
going?
the spring.
I don't know, but y'all should probably stop me. This seems
Make it
dangerous.
Oh, okay. Everyone's grabbing.
I will remind
Y'all ever
you
heard
guys,
about the source before?
Unfortunately, yeah.
You're so convinced you need to return to the source, Max. Like, returning to the source, it sounds great.
Above table, are you telling the gun that I would do anything necessary to return to the source?
Yeah.
No!
We had trouble.
I will remind everyone that there is an item that you all you collectively have known as the ripple gun.
Oh, okay. Everyone pick something to aim at.
You only have one between your group, and it only has one shot.
Who has it?
I'm gonna leave up to the universe. Whoever wants it has it.
Oh God.
Mick.
I will say Max.
I look
does
right
not
at
have
you.
it.
I was gonna say, Max already has a gun.
Yeah.
Actually.
I look right at you.
Max
Mick.
is the boom boom gun.
Why are you looking at me?
I make eye contact with you, Mick, because I believe you're the one that could take me down, and I don't want to hurt anyone. So I take out my toothpick, I put it back in, and I raise my eyebrow. I'm letting you know I'm gonna hurt you.
You know what?
Ooh, crazy.
Okay, Mick has the gun. If nobody cares, Mick has the gun.
I got the gun.
Like sees that, pulls it out, and okay, we can see that Mag is like walking towards the fucking water right now.
Yeah.
And like closes his eyes for a quick second, says a prayer in a language probably none of you know. And shoots it into the fucking water. How does this gun work? Damn it, where did I put this information on how this gun works?
Here's how this gun works.
A standard requisition for all field agents, the ripple gun was once a prop gun from an American science fiction show in the 1970s. Due to some anomalous activities that we are not privy to discuss, it is the only weapon known to neutralize anomalies. If the ripple gun is aimed directly at an anomalous target, unobstructed, it can be fired to neutralize it permanently. The energy from the gun must then be recharged at the agency before it can be fired again. But do be careful. Any unregulated discharge of the ripple gun will get you a handful of demerits for your trouble. Ripple guns. Don't leave the office without it.
You shoot the water.
I shoot the fucking water.
You
The
see the
babbling
ripple
brook?
gun. Yes.
The babbling
babbling brook.
If I can tell which part of it specifically is babbling, I will aim for that. But if not, I will just shoot the fucking water.
I think you can see, like, there is the point where Margot saw the, like, eye under the water. That's where, like, the water is, like, coming out of. That is the source. You aim directly into it. The gun has, several lights along the back that, like, as you pull the trigger, they, like, charge up. One light goes on, the gun starts vibrating, another light goes on, it becomes warm in your hand, a third light goes on, a blast shoots out at the end of the gun, hits the babbling brook, hits the water source, and there's a burst of bright white light that for a moment blinds all of you as for just one last moment, a whistle shoots out louder than you've ever heard before. There's absolute and utter silence. There is no longer a babbling brook. There is a pit of sand and silt with dozens of bodies inside. You found the source.
Oh my god. I immediately do I come out of this?
Yes, you are now.
Mom's like in front of Max, they like, Max, please stop, Max, please stop. I can't stop you.
I think she knows that you can't stop her and immediately like just kind of walks past you, like moving with her body, to stand in front of the water line so Mick doesn't have direct view of those bodies in the water. And she goes, "That was a damn good shot. Turn around now. Turn around and start walking."
Yep, turns and just leaves the whole thing and walks back to the car and opens up his container.
Oh yeah, you go to your cooler.
Yep, I'm going to my cooler.
I think Mick, you go. I think you all do that. Margot, Maude, Mags, do you leave this situation as is, or what do you do before you leave?
Fuck.
D, E, F,
We,
You have to get
we
into
got
it.
ourselves a real alphabet
As
soup
soon as I get
here.
to M, I stop.
Yeah. LGBTQ.
I'm a plus plus plus
Yeah.
plus 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 plus.
So yeah, Maude, you're taking pictures. Margot.
Yeah, I'll see if there's anything else that seems to be like, obviously we've like neutralized the source, but if there is anything besides the numerous bodies that were left behind, any other like weird artifacts or anything that can be removed before any different kinds of authorities might find this place.
You rifle through the silt and like the bodies. There's also there's like objects of like there's like people's watches. There's like wallets. Like there's just like random human artifacts that for some reason these birds have been like bringing back to this source. At some point you find something that feels hard. It does not feel like a body. And you pull out a stone, probably like the size of your head, rough, dark gray, and etched into it are like several unknowable symbols that you can feel kind of like reaching out to you as you're holding it. Doesn't have any hold on you. Yeah. But like you can like feel it's trying to. You do have your your mundane briefcase that you can put this in if you desire.
Yeah, I say that I feel like that's also part of Margot's backpack. Is like it's definitely something that she convinced the agency to turn into the normal briefcase because she didn't want to carry a briefcase. She's like, this is my backpack. I've had it for 25 years. I love it. Make it your weird normal briefcase. So there's like where you normally put like a laptop pouch is like the briefcase part, and she's like, nope, and then briefcases it.
Like you unzip it, and then it does fully open up as if it was a briefcase. And you're able to put the stone inside, close it. And I think there's like protocols that you put little markers out. Maude, you're taking your pictures. I feel like you have those little tags that are like the evidence tags, or like this is evidence 1. Like you're putting those out. You guys. And then you kind of call it like that's for when the like cleanup team comes in. You return to Michelle's house. You see she's not outside. You see that you kind of walk up. The door to her house is like fully open. You all walk in and you can hear her crying. As you walk back to Saraya's room, you see her holding Saraya, crying as Saraya is kind of like, Mom, what are you doing? What's going on? Why do my wrists hurt? As it seems like Saraya is back to normal.
Can I give is Mick, are you in the like company car, or did you go back to the house? Like this house that they're at?
Unless I'm misremembering, I'm assuming the company car was near the house, or did we?
Yeah, it's like in the driveway.
Yeah. So he came back to the company car. I'm assuming an interaction might have happened with the mom, but he is currently in the car, and is drinking from his
thermos.
Yeah. I knock on the window for you to roll it down, and I lean on it, and I go, You good now?
I'm fine. Bodies are dead bodies are a little hard for me.
Yeah, I noticed that. So I thought you might want to go give the mom that's weeping in there the whole false story thing. Maybe like it was hallucinations and seizures brought on by some of those poisonous plants we found down at the water source.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
and goes and heads in, and essentially is just like, we found some poisonous plants. Wait, before he goes in, he texts Trevor, can poisonous plants, I know there are environmental factors that can cause aneurysms, does that include poisonous plants? Quick yes or no?
He just responds back. He sends that shoulder shrug emoticon and then goes, sure.
Just say it was mushrooms or something.
He kind of then follows up as like, if you want, I can falsify a medical report that says that can happen.
He just sighs at that and goes in.
Yeah, I think you tell Mechelle and Saraya, who Mechelle will not unhug Saraya. Tell her the poisonous plants could have caused the aneurysm, which could cause hallucinations.
Actually, what he says is, so we found a number of poisonous plants down there. In the event that aneurysms are caused by environmental factors, if it's something temporary, it could possibly work its way through the bloodstream and then the symptoms are alleviated. So I would just suggest moving forward, staying away from that section of the forest until further notice.
Mechelle is like not able to respond at all. Like she's like in hysterics. Like it's very like happy crying for sure. Like it's like, my baby's back. And Saraya, like, it's like, oh, I was hallucinating. So that's okay. That explains the woman I saw in my closet. And I think that's where
Yeah.
That's where we'll end this episode.
Oh my God.
We'll tell you what happened later, Meadow. It's fine. You weren't here.
How many toothpastes?
Listen.
That one.
And that was it for this episode of Triangle Agency Appalachian Division. I hope you all enjoyed it as much as we all enjoyed making it. Quick, take us home, everyone. Tell us who you are, where people can find you. VJ.
Hi, everybody. My name is VJ Harris. My pronouns are they, them, he, him, and something funny. Only a few people give me a funny pronoun, so I don't know. Drop one for me. I am VJH Creations or
Clown Joker.
Okay, my pronouns are he, him, they, them, and clown/Joker. You can find me everywhere at VJH Creations or VJH_Creations, and potentially at VJH Creation on TikTok soon. Who knows? And I've been Mick Johnson.
Darby.
Yes, hello. Hi, my name is Darby, otherwise known as Chaotic Darby. I do stuff and things on the internet, which you can find me on and follow me and stuff or things.
How novel.
Very. Kerchow.
Storm.
Storm sorcerers everywhere. I do dirty gay cosplay stuff and most social medias. So if you like that, come find me anywhere.
Meadow.
Oh, yeehaw. Howdy, darlings. I am Meadow. I have been Meadow and will hopefully continue to be Meadow in the future. My pronouns are she, they. You can find me everywhere on the internet that matters at Howdy Love Darlin or Howdy Love Darlin GM.
Lovely. Again, thank you all for watching. I have been, and I guess also will continue to be, Dan the Baker. You can find me anywhere I want you to find me at Dan_the_Baker. You can always find me here at Open Table Adventures, where we will have more actual plays, recipes, one-shots, interviews, and so much more. So make sure you stick around, subscribe, and remember, you are always welcome to pull up a seat. Bye-bye.
Perfect. Mr. Case, can you come up a little bit closer to the camera? Well, not that much. Actually, just go on back to your spot. You're good right there. Yep. All right, and continue. Welcome to an instructional video.